Okay, we're live. What would you say, mate? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the buys played really well.
100%. 100%. We created support in the Asian session. Next Asian session, 4 hour went up, and then London 4 hour session went up. 1 hour candle. Yeah, it was just perfect. It
I
was the
was just
30
looking at,
minute. It was the 30 minute that was the confirmation here. The 6 a.m. 30 minute candle.
yeah,
Go on, mate.
it was just looking at it now. Like when you look on the daily, you look on the 4 hour, and then you look on the 1 hour. So it was all like a strong confirmation once
Mhm.
we broke above, and obviously that's when we need to look for like a lower time frame to have an entry and have like a good stop loss.
100%, mate. Yeah, I think so. I think once this 30 minute candle closed above this area, stops probably would have been below the breakout candle, which was like 9 pips away, and then man, it was a real nice move from there. Obviously, it's a Friday, that's why I didn't take the move. But I mean, I looked today, I was like, yeah, GJ's heading up to 141, 100, which is my first target, and then the second target is 141, 250.
Yeah, yeah. Then I mean, it might be hard now to like keep going bullish,
Oh no, I think this.
but
I think we should. I think we're gonna still continue bullish.
yeah, I'm just looking at like on the daily.
Mm.
Just one sec. So on the daily, we've got like another wick fill,
Mhm.
which
Yeah,
uh,
up over at 141, 300.
yeah,
Mhm.
Morning, mate.
Morning, mate.
morning.
How's it going?
Good. Nice move.
What's that, mate?
It was a nice move this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a very nice move. It was just clean, simple buys, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super good, man. Oh, it's retracing hard right now, though. But yeah, man, if this was another day, this would have been perfect. It's
But it'll
nice.
be interesting to see if any of the higher time frame candles to close above that area. Because looking at on the 4 hour, like we just have like wicks to the top.
Mhm.
But the last time we closed above that area was back in September.
Yeah.
We've had too many wicks like over the past days,
Mhm.
but we didn't manage to close above. So it'll be interesting to see if like a 4 hour will be closing above and then it'll carry on to to 141 300, which is the next
Yeah.
daily on a week. So
Yeah. I mean, it can easily do that. I think right now it's done a liquidity grab. It broke the low of the previous 15, and if it flips bullish, then I think you're gonna be right here. I think 141, 300, 141, 250 is incoming. So yes. Morning everyone on the YouTube. Sorry, a bit of delay this morning. A little update on the computer running. But yeah, GJ was real nice this morning. Oh, look at that, gold. 8 a.m. push at gold. Let's take a look on the. Wow, damn. How many pips was that one candle? That looked like a bloody. Oh Jesus, that's a 280 pip candle right there.
Oh my god.
Imagine if you just accidentally chucked a cheeky one lot on there.
Be rich.
Yeah, retire. So yeah, more than everyone on the YouTube. So we was gonna have Stop Loss Matters come on this morning, but unfortunately he messaged me this morning to say he's unable to make it. So we're not gonna have any guests today, but he'll be on next week, and then there'll be more guests after that as well. So looking forward to it.
There's always another time. That's fine.
Yeah, I think we'll have a shorter session here today, just chilled out. If anyone, if anyone in the group's got any questions or anything or any concepts, I suppose we can go over some things, and just nice easy day, chilled day. See what GJ is gonna do. I think if it can create some support on the 30-minute, it's gonna continue heading up. 100%. But yeah, I think it's been a really good week to start the year here this week, for sure. I mean, a lot of the moves were good this week. Maybe it was a little bit tough at times because there was some, times where there wasn't any confirmations, but we still executed. We still called out trades. I mean, technically this week I could have had 4 wins because I would have stayed out of yesterday's trade more than likely. Wednesdays I was really inclined to take. It just was the 4-hour close that put me off. So I could have taken the third trade then, and then potentially GJ buy today would have been super sweet. But yeah, so there was actually some really good opportunities this week. Could have had a real good week this week, but I just wanted to ease back in, and next week we're gonna smash it. Trump has peacefully conceded power to Biden. Well, yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Gold flash crash. No, I don't think it's flash crash. I mean, let's see if we've got any news here. Do you think we can fill gold wick? Yeah, gold. Let's take a look. So this is a 1:15-minute candle. So the 30-minute candle's still open. Let's take a look on the 5-minute. Yeah, see, that was just that was 1 5-minute candle. Fuck.
That was 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was 1 5-minute candle, 300 pips.
That must be like a news. That is.
Yeah, I'm gonna check now. That's got to be something.
I've never seen that before.
Maybe it's what Fo just said. Has Trump actually? Because I know the media like to always talk the bullshit that he's conceded, like always read, but he actually hasn't. But maybe he has, because it's. But we'll see. Let's see if there's anything. I don't really see anything. Maybe what's this? Let me read this quick. Oh, they're trying to push for like an impeachment thing again. Oh god, here we go. Man, these people, man, they make me laugh. They make me laugh. They watch their cities burn for months, and then it's crazy. But yeah, it looks like GJ, if this 15-minute candle flipped bullish, then I think we're heading up. This was a big liquidity grab over here. 30 minutes still respected the low as well, so it's a liquidity grab on the smaller time frames.
Even on the 1 hour as well, it's still respecting the low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's about to flip. That was quite a few hours ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about all that though, man. They always say he's conceded. I heard fucking weeks ago that he conceded, but we all know what the media are like. But yeah, man.
And that 5 minutes fill in the wick as well.
Is it?
Yeah, another 5 minutes that's filling that wick.
Wow. Oh damn! Yeah, you have to fight. The next 5-minute candle's coming down.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the reason for that is. Yeah, here we go. GJ 141 250 is incoming. Oh, Trump made a speech on it this time. Oh no, man, we'll see. Me personally, I've got like 1% faith that Trump has got something up his sleeve before the 20th of Jan. Because on the 20th of Jan, it's done. Like, you know, Biden will be, he'll have his, what do you call it? I think it's called inauguration or whatever. And then, yeah, by then it is too late. But right now, I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I think GJ. I think GJ is just gonna continue pushing up. Oh, A-Rod, you made $4,000. Damn. I think A-Rod caught that gold wick fill, I think, on the 5-minute.
You know, just been looking at the chart, and I've been drawing zones on the gold, and I've just noticed that you know that big 5-minute candle that we've had, where it went all the way down to 1877. It literally just went right to where I did draw the charts.
Yeah, probably. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at gold then. Let's do some analysis.
I think it's from like the previous analysis that I've had, and I just didn't delete the zones.
Oh yeah. So see, so with gold, I mean, this was our area of resistance from beforehand. You know, where gold broke out. So it seems like once we created this engulfing candle back up at this area, we had clean traffic to the left. So that's probably why this move up got corrected. But let's take a look on the smaller time frames. So if we look on the 4-hour time frame, yeah, it was an impulse entry based on the break of the 4-hour low over here, because the next 4-hour the previous 4-hour candle, closed at this support. And then, you know, you would target maybe like this area based on the 4-hour. Let's take a look on the 1-hour. But you see on the 1-hour time frame, the 1-hour candle beforehand, the 7 a.m. candle, it closed below the support, and it did actually do a liquidity grab because it broke the high of the previous 1 hour and then closed below. So actually the sales made sense. We had a support over here to target. Seems like it just smashed through that zone. We had another zone down over here fact, we had another zone. We had another support on the 1 hour down over here, and then we had this next support area down here. So let's take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, now see on the 30-minute time frame, we had this issue to the left, but it seems as though it just had enough volume just to keep going, and it just pumped through all these three ranges. So let's take a look on that 5-minute candle. So yeah, it came all the way down over here, retraced, and then it closed in the middle of the second range. But yeah, but I think the sells were based on the 1 hour, because if you look at the 1 hour, we closed into those rejection wicks here on to the left, and then the next 1 hour candle had a clean move here to continue down. So it did make it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now that we're looking at it. Okay, let's see if GJ. Oh, GJ's not trying to continue up now. It's pulling back. Okay, so it seems as though the 15-minute candle is trying to close bearish at this point, because the 30-minute candle is still open. Yeah, but I don't know. Probably maybe the second half's gonna just continue pushing up potentially, but obviously you don't really know at this point. Anyone been outside this morning in the UK?
Yes.
You have.
Yeah.
I count you brave. I'm telling you, man, it is fucking freezing.
Proper, man.
Yeah. I got into my because obviously I got my trading set up in my I got like a little cabin in the garden, and like, because there's no heating in here, I have to stick on, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I have to have this heater running, otherwise I'll actually freeze to death.
Yeah.
And I had the heater running for like 20-30 minutes. So I was thinking, yep, lovely, I'll go in there, it'll be nice and toasty. And I went in there, and it was that cold that the heater literally nearly had no effect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my coat right now.
One way to wake you up
I'm
into that
in my
place.
coat. What's that, mate?
That's one way to wake yourself up in the morning.
Oh yeah, just open a window. That's all.
Yeah.
Let the cold draft and run out in me boxes. That would wake me up. It's snowing. Well, I can't remember where Freddie said he was from, but he's saying it's snowing heavy. Damn. Oh, that means we could get snow this weekend. That'll be banging. Let me check my phone. Let me see the weather. Nah, man, we not got no forecast for snow. What's going on? We've had no snow this year. That's a joke. No, we've got rain from Monday. What's going on? Oh, York. Yeah, I can't believe that. Obviously, snow's cold, but I mean, I think we need a bit of snow or something. Give people something to do. Did you catch those buys this morning, Ibs?
No, I got in a bit late, to be honest. I entered not the last bearish 15-minute candle, but the break of the one before that. So like 137.
Which bearish candle?
So not the most recent one, the one before.
Oh, where did you enter in on the?
Yeah.
What, over here?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it still makes sense. I mean, obviously, technically, you would have wanted to wait for like a support to form, but I mean, in theory, like it still made sense. Yeah, I mean, I obviously, when I first woke up, it was this candle that was open. It was the 6:30 a.m. candle, because it was the 6:45 candle that actually started to push.
Yeah, to push. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
was
usually,
asleep.
yeah, I usually set my alarm for 6:40 is my first one. So I literally, when I obviously woke up, this candle was just starting to break up. So I knew I wasn't, wasn't in the move or anything. I was never going to take it, but I looked at it. I was like, yeah, GJ's going to head up at this point. So I think there was a couple of good potential entry points. So
Yeah.
looking back, where could I have entered and stuff. I knew where I was going to enter. Obviously, I would have liked to have entered, on the breakout candle here. But, I mean, you could have taken buys on the break of this high. You could have taken buys after the next 15-minute candle closed bullish is also an option. No, that would still be the 30-minute thingy. But, yeah, there was plenty of options either way to get in buys in this area. But yeah, that was a really nice move this morning.
I think he might be creating like a fake out.
Maybe. I mean, so basically, we have a support formed here on the 15-minute time frame from 7:30. So if price in the next 10 minutes closes below this minor support, then there's actually a chance that you may be right and that price can continue moving down. However, if this 15-minute candle closes above this minor support, right, then you take a look on the 30-minute. That means this 30-minute candle will be closing above support, which means that maybe price needs a 30-minute bullish candle, so a support to be formed here for it to continue further up. So, I mean, if we think about it, I mean, London Open was this 8 a.m. candle. We've seen a pullback. So I think if we are going to head down, the next 15-minute candle will close below this support, because there's going to be some form of signal for like a reversal or a fake out, like you say. But if it respects this area here, then I think there's a higher probability that we're going to create some support to continue heading further up. I mean, daily just pulling back a bit because we're entering into so remember I was talking yesterday about the zones. We're in a zone again here. We've come into another zone. This is a zone, right? Anywhere in this area. So again, because we've pushed up so high in the London session, we're now retracing. So I mean, the whole daily, we want it to close into this area, because then we're going to start to expect that next week we're probably going to see some form of deep liquidity on Monday, and then maybe Tuesday or later on in Monday, the candles should keep on printing bullish just based on the higher time frames. But yeah, right now it seems like it's just pulling back because it's in this zone. So what we may find, so let's take on the 4 hour, because the 4 hour's got like an hour and a bit to close. Also, the 4 hours coming into an area of potential rejection. The 1 hour, so the 1 hour, needs to be maybe wicking down into this area, because if we pull this zone left, right, we're now closing above this zone. So what we may find is it's going to wick back into this area, into this zone, but then still close above. That's what we would want to expect for price to continue heading up. If price is going to come back in the range, right, then price is going to close within this zone. The next one's going to wick up out of it and then start to drive back through to come back in this range here to the left. And then we would just consolidate maybe for Friday's candle, or what we'd find is that New York session may pull back to this area which we broke out of over here, right? Could do to create some support to continue heading back up, because we never did a retest of this consolidation that we had. We had consolidation over here. We broke up. We never retested. We have consolidation here. We broke up. But we can retest. There's nothing to say we can't. But look at the structure yesterday. It's a very similar structure here on the 1 hour, where the 1 hour candle pulls back around the similar time. And then we see pre-New York creates like support and then continues. So I wonder if we're going to see something like that happen, in this area here to continue up to 141, 250, and then even come up to fill the wick at 141, 300. So there's plenty of stuff that could be going on, but We're just gonna wait for confirmations, see what happens on the smaller time frames, etc., etc. So we've got
I
six.
think also looking at like, sorry, go for it.
No, just gonna say we've got 6 minutes left for this 15-minute count to close, and we'll be able to get a better idea then.
Okay, no worries.
Go on, mate.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, just looking at the higher time frame we've had, like on the weekly. I know it's a higher time frame, but it's good to see where we've had rejections before. If you look on the weekly, you can see multiple wicks that we've had on the left, and we've also had like a reversal.
Yeah.
So we've had like a weekly where it pulled back really, really far from, I'd say from 142.710 to, and it ended up closing at 141.89. So it'll be interesting to see this weekly to close above that area.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. If the week, so actually, let's do this quick. I'll do this from like this. So, I mean, we have a big zone here on the weekly, this area here, right? Because we remember when we remember when we came back to this area. I think this was in September, and we were really convinced that GJ is just going to continue moving up, and this candle came all the way into the zone, and then it closed below, and then the next one corrected itself. So we are entering into an area here where we could possibly reject again. So I'm thinking, would Friday's candle realistically break through this zone? It possibly could do, but I'm doubting Friday would do it. But what I'm thinking is, when we speak about, I just spoke about the rejections, and when I see a rejection, let's say like this, I want to see a wick into it and price leaving. Look what happened on the weekly right now. Because if we look left, right, looking left, we're going to see we had rejections here, rejections, and we stretch this zone left. We can see that previously we had these rejections here, and now we're starting to see the rejections from this area to leave to go bullish, right? So even if this weekly candle closes at this zone here, closing below, next weekly candle could also tap back into this zone, 140, 141, 139, 500, right? Come back, revisit this zone, and then start to break up again, right? Because this is our new liquidity zone. So we already know to start the year, this is our liquidity zone, because the previous weekly candle was tapping into the zone. Today, this week's weekly candle was tapping into the zone, and it retraced to go bullish. So we could easily see a tap of maybe 140, 141, 140, 500 zone, this area here, and then start to head up next week. But yeah, we're not really sure at this point whether Friday's daily candle is going to have enough volume to break through the zone, because this is a weekly zone. This is a strong weekly zone, because we rejected here previously. We came all the way up. When was this candle? This was the 31st of August. More than likely, there's probably going to be, an end of the week. So if price came all the way up into the zone and then retraced to close below, maybe are we going to have enough volume over here? Not really sure at this point. But if the weekly does close above, then we know what to expect. We know that, okay, then the next weekly candle, right, could wick down and then start to drive up, fill this wick over here, and then eventually we'll end up somewhere back in the 144, 500 region. But that maybe will come, Wednesday, Thursday, next week, if that's going to happen. But there you go. So we've got a couple minutes left for the 15 minute. Let me see what's going on here. We've got a minute. So it seems like it is coming down. So if the 15-minute time frame closes below this area, then yeah, see, because the 30 minutes also now surpassed the previous 30-minute low, so it makes it very difficult. Also the 1 hour low too. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. We could pull back to 14800 intraday support. Yeah, we could do. We could pull back to wherever, but like I was just saying, based on Friday's candle, since now we've come into this zone, you know, to end the week, we may just pull back and close below. But I think with New York, we could easily see more volume. You know, there's plenty of time in the day today to see further volume. Do you think the 15-minute candle on GJ wick is a liquidity wick? I thought the previous one was, because it came all the way down and then went to go bullish. But yeah, now I don't think so, because it looks like in 50 seconds it's going to close below this minor support, which would have been needed to be respected, you know, for price to continue. So yeah, as of now, I think more than likely maybe you're going to see some form of pullback, deeper pullback. But I mean, who knows? This kind of hasn't closed yet, so. Right, we are going to do some fresh analysis, some other pairs. So we did gold already. FTSE, okay, I'll clear that, and we'll do FTSE. I'll clear GCAD, we're going to do that. Euro JPY, we're also going to do that. Oh, look at EJ. Where's this volume come from? Euro NZD, we'll do that as well. So, yes, the 15-minute candle. 15-minute candle closed below support. So that, in fact, this is what's called a counter trend breakout, right? But I don't think there's enough technical, not really enough range. But in theory, this is what I would class a counter trend breakout. You know, when price is in an uptrend, it creates a support. It should have respected the support. This candle came down, closed below, and then I think it's going to pave way for the next 15-minute candle to come down, fill this wick, and then continue down to 149.60. Even actually, if we remove this zone for a sec, actually no, we'll leave it as it is for the minute. Okay, let's go to the FTSE here. Let's go to the daily. So it seems as though the daily came up to make a high, but it's now retracing. So if it flips bearish, maybe it's going to come down and fill this wick. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Yeah, it seems like we closed at a resistance on the 4-hour. Price is rejecting. We broke the low of the previous 4-hour candles, now trying to come down. We have a support down over here. Take a look on the 1-hour. So yeah, it created resistance. It broke the low of the previous 1-hour candle. It broke this minor support on the 1-hour time frame. So we're now continuing down. We have another support down over here that we're probably going to reach. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. So looking on the 30-minute, let's remove these zones here for a sec. So looking on the 30-minute, it seems like we tapped into this resistance and then we started to reject. So once we started to create resistance, I mean, we had support here, but then, you know, candle came down and closed below, but it closed with no wick. But then, you know, you could have taken like a impulse entry once it broke that low to continue further down. Could have been a good setup potentially there. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, the FTSE today, but I think from a 15-minute perspective, I think this would have been the sell right here. The break of this low, we see this structure all the time, this sort of structure, and then for price to continue further down to this support here. I think that would have been the best outcome there. Okay, what's GJ doing? Always trying to come back up in the range. But then I suppose, as long as it respects this high and stays below 141.100, then it can continue moving down. But then if the 15-minute candle closes back above this area, then we know that even this 30-minute candle closing below was, you know, not a confirmation for sells. I mean, it gets tricky when it does that, but it just does do that sometimes. Let's look at GBP CAD. So looking at GCAD, the previous daily candle, it closed and broke this support. So it seems as though the current daily candle is doing a retest for potential GCAD to continue moving down. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Now looking on the 4-hour time frame, we had a support over here, and seems as though, neaten this up a bit, seems as though the 4-hour is trying to come back up into this range. So if it does, then there's a chance that it's gonna fill to the next 4-hour resistance, because we have a clean candle to the left. So let's measure this range over here. This is like a 50-60 pip range if the 4-hour can successfully close back up in the range. But if this is the retest, then we need to start seeing some resistance being formed. So let's take a look on the 1-hour. So now when we look on the 1-hour time frame, we had the resistance over here, we broke above this area, and now we're trying to do some form of retest. Looking on the 30-minute, yeah, kind of similar thing here, but right now we have a resistance over here which we're tapping into, closing below. So for GCAD to continue moving bullish, it needs to break this resistance at 1.72350. And then at that point we have a clean range for 16 pips, and then let's measure draw out this range, and then after that we have a further clean range coming up to 1.73 thousand, which is a 50 pip range roughly. That's going to be the ultimate range on GCAD for like buys, but yeah, we'll just see what happens here. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, so the 15-minute candle created a support over here. The next one wicked down and broke the high. So I mean, GCAD moves slightly different, but in theory, I think GCAD should continue moving up. Hopefully with a bit of volume we can break through this zone, but we will see. We will see. Let's take a look at GJ. Yeah, we can't really say anything until this candle closes in that respect. So yeah, I think GCAD is going to continue moving up. Even if you look on the 15-minute, right? 15-minute close back above this area, because we had a previous resistance and support. It created support over here. So it does look good to continue up. It just needs to break through this resistance, and then GCAD's off to the races. So yeah, that'll be a pretty good move there. I think if this 15-minute candle closes above this resistance at 1.72360, then it paves way for the next 30-minute and the next 15-minute to also continue moving bullish. So we'll see. Now Euro JPY. Let's go to the daily. So since the daily broke out, this could be priced doing a retest of this area 126.900 before heading further up. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. So looking on the 4-hour time frame, we want to be focusing in now on the most recent price action. So right now we're approaching a support. If we break this support, we have another area down over here. This is the area roughly where we broke out from. So maybe he wants to come deeper to do a retest around 126.950. Price made a high over here, around 127.500. Looking on the 1-hour, let's remove everything again. Looking on the 1-hour time frame, so we can see how we had a support here. We had a 1-hour candle, came down, closed at support, and then the next one with no confirmation has just come straight down. We have clean traffic to the left, coming down to this support on the 1-hour. Let me just redraw that. Always like the smooth tool. There we go. We have clean candles on the 1-hour to the left. So I suppose it made sense, but there was no confirmation. But in theory, it should continue down to 127 based on the 1-hour. We also know that we can see here that it rejected this resistance. Price rejected this resistance at 127.450. And then that's why we saw this part correction. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Now on the 30-minute time frame, we have a bit more of a neater zone here, because we have support down over here on the 30-minute, and then we had an area right over here of support on the 30-minute. So if we go to the 15-minute, what we would want to see is maybe like because prices dropped so much, right? Price dropping around 40 pips. If it can pull back and create some resistance, maybe below 127, 120, then there's a very good chance that EJ will continue down to 126, 940, 950. But, you know, it could just keep on running. We're not really sure yet. So we just have to wait and see, I suppose. What's GJ doing? Candle's got 6 minutes left. It's created a top wick, but I mean, it could easily just keep on pumping. So we're not going to say yet. Let's go to Euro NZD. Go to the daily. Okay, so it looks like yesterday's daily candle closed bullish. The current daily candle has broken the low. Pretty good. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so it looks like the sells were once we broke this support on the 4 hour and started to do a retest to head down to retest this low. So we're at this support right now, so we need this support to break on the 4 hour for price to continue moving down. So looking on the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour is a little bit messy, but in theory we can kind of see how we had a zone here. We had a resistance over here that we tapped into multiple times. So 7 o'clock last night, price broke down. You know, we retraced, and then around Asian session made a low. During the so from Tokyo Open and in the early hours of the evening, it retraced, creating resistance up over here, and then we can see here that coming more towards London Open, London session, it was pushing down based on the 1 hour. So let's take a look on the 30 minute. So based on the 30 minute, it gets a little bit more tricky, but in theory, so 5 a.m. candle came down, closed below support. We had 5:30, 6, 6:30 a.m. all closing below this area. Let's see on the 15 minute. Okay, so we can see exactly where the sell could have been. The sell could have been at 7 a.m. We can see here the 7 a.m. candle broke the low of this weak bullish candle and then continued moving bearish. So that seems to be the entry there. With volume, at 7 a.m. we see a lot of volume. But right now, since we created support here, you know, recently, we would want this 30-minute candle to close below this area. And then there's a good chance that Euro NZD can continue moving further down. But yeah, we'll have to wait. So let's see what GJ is doing here. I think I'm gonna have to pay for some central heating in this cabin. I might have to just.
Yeah, I was gonna say, use some profits.
Yeah, use some profits just to get the 1010 heating. Yeah, I think I have to get like an oil powered one for it to be on, like constantly to keep it like at a certain room temperature. I think you need like an oil powered heater. Otherwise I'll just buy like 30 of these and just, to be fair, I don't even know whether it's just worth to have like 2 or 3 of them on the go. Or just
Are they noisy, are they?
a little bit, but I mean, I deal with it alright. I don't know if people on the stream can hear it, but I mean, I can't do without it. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise I'll just freeze to death.
Yeah, I can't hear it, so yeah, get a few more and just like rev it up.
Yeah, I think if I had one in each corner, like 2 or 3 in every, so if I had one in a corner, so like maybe 3, then surely it would heat up 3 times as quick, no?
Yeah.
It would, wouldn't it?
Should do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it depends how
heaters.
big or, yeah, if your cabin's like fairly big, like you're gonna need a few more.
It's not that big. I'd say it's like, I don't know, maybe 4 meters. Maybe 3.5 by 3.5, 4. It's probably like 4 by 4, 3 by 3.5 by 3.5, something like that. So it's not even that big. I just think because it's a cabin, it doesn't contain heat very well.
No.
Which is why it's absolutely, like, I got outside this morning, I was like, ooh, it's cold. And then I'm like, I get in the cabin. I'm like, oh, it's colder in here. How does that work? Like, it felt colder in the cabin than it did outside. It made no sense, but
Yeah, the heat must escape quite quick, and then the coldness comes in and it just stays.
yeah, it lets all the heat out.
Do you switch it on like before you actually go in there?
Yeah, I do. So, like this morning, when I first come in, I'll switch it on. I'll try and let it heat up for like 10 minutes, because otherwise, like, even the computer. The other thing as well is, I don't want to keep leaving it so cold, because after a while, maybe that's gonna have an effect on my actual computer system if it's out in the cold a lot. So I have to think about that, but I might buy another one, to be honest, because honestly, man, it's getting painful to deal with. But yeah. Okay, we've got a question here. Hey, what do you do when you have unresolved import function call on magic keys even after enabling algo trading? You know what? I had that issue myself, but for the life of me, I can't remember. I know what I did though. I got the I don't know if anyone else can help answer this question, but somewhere there's a troubleshoot guide, and it tells you what that means if there's a certain message and what you need to do. I think the troubleshoot guide might be on the website, but if not, try the magic key. Hold on, let's have a look. Okay. No, okay. Okay, yeah. Wherever if you know where the troubleshoot guide is, that's where you're gonna be able to find out that particular issue. But I remember having that same problem myself. I think it was, I can't remember why it did that. Yeah, I can't remember. Why don't you get a portable heater? I think this is technically a portable heater. You just like plug it in, like it's just a small thing, and yeah, you just plug it into the wall and it turns on. But yeah, anyway, looking at GPJPY, the 15-minute candle is closed back above this area here. So I know if the 30-minute, okay, so maybe let's say because remember, this same structure is starting to form now if the 30-minute candle closes bullish than what we saw last week. So what we saw not last week, the other day. That was Wednesday. So what we saw was the fact that this 30-minute candle would close bullish. The next one would wick down and then break the high and then continue moving up. So maybe that's going to be similar here today. We'll see. We will see. Because the 30-minute candle is still open, I suppose, at this point. Yeah, it's on the website, or just contact support. You'll get a response this morning. Yeah, there you go. It's on the website, the troubleshoot guide. But then, yeah, I remember I did send them an email because I had a really weird message come up because my magic keys wouldn't connect to. So you have the thing on the dashboard where it says whether your magic keys is connected or not connected. So it kept saying that it wasn't connected, but it was like. So yeah, I had sent them a photo and I just said, "Oh, what's this about?" And they sent me what to do. And so yeah, they're very helpful. So either email them or go on the troubleshoot guide. But whatever problem you'll have, so many people have probably had the same thing. I know I'm pretty sure I had that same problem. So they definitely have a resolution. See what gold doing. So gold 30-minute candle closed bullish. If we look on the 15-minute time frame, we can see how the 15-minute candles are slowly becoming weaker. Let's take a look on the 5-minute. Yeah. So the 15-minute candles are bodies are going smaller, but gold doesn't quite work in that same respect. Sometimes it's going to break this low, but then it's going to continue moving up. So we'll have to see, because the 30-minute could wick up and then drive down, which is usually what happens a lot of times. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left here for the 30-minute candle to close. Do we have any news from the calendar today? Oh yeah. Is it NFP today? Oh yeah, it is NFP today. Forgot about that. It's because we trade the London session. No need to worry about it. It's always in the New York session. But yeah, okay, let's see what the numbers they're expecting. So the forecast is the middle one. Oh wow, I think they're expecting really bad numbers here. Yeah, they're expecting really bad numbers. But it's kind of to be expected. Yeah, even the unemployment rate's gone up by a little bit. Yeah, they're expecting some bad numbers. Oh. Yeah, look at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour tapped into this zone, like I spoke about, and now it's starting to leave. Yeah, exactly what we were talking about here. We had this zone here, tapping into this zone, and now it's starting to leave and close above. Well, that's what you would want anyway. Okay. Would you say the London session tends to be more profitable than the NY session for GJ in general? No, I wouldn't say it's more profitable. I wouldn't say so. I mean, like, I would just say, you know, they move differently. Like London, you're gonna see a lot more just big pushes, and you're not gonna, and you sometimes you're gonna be like, well, there was no confirmation. I suppose the same for NY, but it's not that one's more profitable at all. There's no, like, I didn't trade the London session because I thought it was more profitable. I traded the London session because it made more sense to me. So I think, you know, it's not about profitability, because whatever session you understand the most is always going to be the one that you're most profitable in anyway. It's not about what, you know, there's no, like, it's like saying, well, the best investment right now is Bitcoin, but how many people actually, you know, have made money? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily about which one's more profitable. It's about which one you understand and which one is better for you. So if you understand NY better, if you find NY to be more easier, but even though it may not give you big 50-60 pip moves, whatever, it makes no difference because you're better at that session. So that's it. Hi, just got a heads up of your channel. What's your strategy? Breakout, and on what levels are you putting the lines? Daily, 4-hour, 1 hour. Thanks for answering. Okay, hi, fill the cart. My strategy, I would say my strategy is I trade breakouts, but it's not just about breakout. It's just about reading candles, and I suppose for me, it's just about anticipating where the next candle is gonna go. You know, like this morning we saw a breakout. I didn't take the trade because I don't trade on Fridays. But yes, it was a breakout. But when price broke out, I was expecting the next candle to also go bullish, right? So a lot of the times we're gonna have supports created, we're gonna have highs created, and all we're trying to do is we're trying to read the candles to see and anticipate where the next candle is going to go or where price wants to go. So yeah, like Justin just said, there is, you could generalize that price action. So I am a price action trader, but in theory, like, I look at individual candles and try and read them as if they're trying to tell me where their friend wants to go next. It's probably a good way of putting it, but I don't know. But yeah, so the levels that we've got here, so basically what I do, Danny, I think his name is there, sorry. So basically what I do, Danny, is I start off with the daily, and I'll look at the daily and I'll be like, okay, well, where are we anticipating the next daily candle to go? And then we go to the 4-hour, right? And then we look at the 4-hour time frame and we read it in the same way, and we see where what the previous 4-hour did, and we're looking at, okay, where's the next 4-hour gonna go, right? We're seeing here that we're in an uptrend. We created support. So now since we created support, now we're saying, okay, well, what's going to be the confirmation on the smaller time frames that we can see more upside? Then we go to the 1-hour time frame and I plot my levels on the 1-hour time frame. So yeah, now we see, prices coming up, and then we look for further upside at that point. Then we go to the 30-minute, we adjust the zones on the 30-minute. So yeah, it's pretty much how we do it, or I do it. Didn't know about HFX trading until today. Do you recommend trading this way for beginners, or should we stick to normal Forex? This is normal Forex. I'm not the HFX binary options guy. This is normal Forex. Yeah. People get me so confused. There's nothing I can do about it because they get more views than me, so they come up whenever you say HFX, but I don't really care. Yeah, no problem, mate. Yeah, so we trade the Forex markets here. Yeah, we don't do options or binary options or anything like that. Okay, so 30-minute candle's coming to a close in 3 minutes. Let's check out this chart here while we wait for that. Okay, so this is your trade this morning. JPY 15-minute time frame. So there's a minor support created. Previous 1 hour was bullish. Yes. Entry 15-minute broke above. 30-minute closed bullish. Took on weak confirmation. Yeah, I mean, I know you entered in on the first 15-minute candle, but had even you waited on the 30-minute time frame, the entry could have been on that second 15-minute candle. I also think a good entry, once that second 15-minute candle closed, a further good entry could have been the break of both these highs and then keeping the stop loss below the previous candle. So now your risk is this compared to what it was originally, which was this all the way down over here, which I think is pretty big anyway. So I would have personally had the stop below the 30-minute once. So basically, once this 15-minute candle closed above, you're expecting the next one to respect the low. So once the next one did respect the low, you can start to bring your stop loss above that breakout 15-minute candle at that point. But yeah, so anticipated pre-London volume to push up. Yep, minus support created, should have the leg to push up if this holds. TP1 runners. Yeah, nice. I think personally, I know 141.300 is the wick fill, and that's nice, but I would just say, to be conservative, we have a resistance at 141.250 somewhere over here, and we could easily just reject this resistance and head down and never tap this area. So I mean, again, like, it's completely up to you, but yeah, that's what I would just be aware of. So what you could do is, you could say, if you've got, let's say, 20% left running of your runners, you could close, I don't know, like 15% right over here, and then let the smallest position run to 141.300. You know, that's up to you, but just an idea. What is your name, first, only, or nickname, or whatever handle you are comfortably with? Well, my first name is Harrison. Obviously, everyone knows me as HFX, so that's, I suppose, the nickname. My mates just call me H, but that's kind of why I came up with HFX, because everyone I know, they all call me H. Like, yeah, everyone I know. So, pretty much, I think that's kind of where it all came from. So I just thought HFX. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Kind of rings a bell. So yeah, I just went with that one. Entry was on the second 15-minute. The minor pullback on my click and buy on MetaTrader. Oh, so you got in on the second 15-minute candle. Sorry, I thought once the 15-minute broke above, that's when you entered. But yeah, no, look, either way, once you was in this trade, you know, at that point you just needed to manage your risk, and just, you know, expecting candles to respect this zone, this area that you've got. So nah, not Harry, man. No one calls me Harry. I've never liked the nickname Harry. Yeah, never liked it. So yeah, if we look at GJ now, 30-minute candle came up. It's closed above this area, but it's closed with no wick to the top. So it's like a, yeah, I know Raj always says it's like a 50-50 chance whether the price is going to continue up or continue down. But if we look on the 15-minute, I mean, yeah, same as well. 15-minute and the 30-minute, both no wick to the top. So I would say, yeah, roughly maybe a 50-50 chance if it's going to continue higher or not. But it looks like it's going to continue moving up to 141.250 over here, which was the target that we it's the target that we wanted. Are you the younger version of Monty? I would say I'm the younger version of myself. Yeah, I'm no I know Monty's obviously from the UK, but I mean, we don't look nothing alike, so I can't say I'm quite the younger version. But yeah, no, he's a nice fella. So yeah, I think maybe looking back, like this 15-minute candle as well, yeah, you could have maybe taken entries on the bottom wick and then expecting price to continue bullish. But to be honest, I was thinking this 30-minute was going to close like somewhere over here, and then what we see happen a lot of times, where the next one wicks down and then starts to drive up. Monty looks like the Judge Jules. I've heard of Judge Judy, but I've never heard of Judge Jules. Let's see, Judge Jules. Yeah. That is funny. That, yeah, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, obviously no disrespect to the man, but hey, we all got lookalikes out here. What do candles mean that close with no wicks on the bottom? Same technically as no wicks on the top. So if it's got no wick to the bottom, that means it had no range to go down. But let's say I'm looking for buys and the candle has no wick to the bottom, I wouldn't be so concerned. Like you see this candle here and this candle, they had no wick to the bottom. So that means price couldn't even go down. It was straight buys. You know, there was so much volume that the candle never retraced. It just went straight up. So when I'm looking for a trade and the candle's got, let's say, no bottom wick and I'm looking for buys, that makes sense. You know, that's not the end of the world. But when we're looking for buys and a candle has no wick to the top, that means that potentially there's no further range. So why would we then, the probability for further upside is going to be less because there's no range. You know, most of these candles here you see have wicks because this is where price tried to go and then retraced. When we have no wick, see, this candle came down, it had no wick to the bottom, and then you can see the next one immediately went straight up. So partly the reason why the next candle didn't go bearish was because this candle had no range to go down, you know, because it hit a level and then there was no range. It didn't retrace, it did nothing. So it's kind of just a rule of thumb. I'm new to this. What's the best steps to take? Powder watts. If you're new to Forex, I would say you can do two things. The first thing you can do is you can come to the stream every day here for free on YouTube, Monday to Friday, and you can sit, you can listen, and you can learn so much just from observing and listening to the commentary that happens during the day, right? You're going to learn so much this way. Now, if you're a complete beginner and you know nothing about Forex, I would still recommend this. But before you do that, so when you come back on Monday, what I would do this weekend is I would go to this website, because this is where I learned my information from. So you're going to go to babypips.com. You're going to go to babypips. And you're going to start learning for free. There's a complete course. There's like a beginners. There's the preschool, what it is, when you can do it, blah, blah, blah. There's the kindergarten, brokers, all of that. Elementary, support resistance. We don't use any moving averages, Fibonacci's, or indicators. We just use pure support resistance, candles, and stuff like that. So all of this is nothing that we use, but that's up to you. If you want to look at that sort of thing, again, that's up to you. But yeah, you've got tons of stuff to look at here for free. This is all for free. How to use MetaTrader, that's really important, right? Risk management is also important. So yeah, there is yeah, that's it really. Like, you know, you can come on this website, you can learn for free, and yeah, you can get started. And then when you've learned for free and you have a decent understanding of trading, then, you know, you can come to the streams, you know, then yeah, you're going to understand a lot more what it is that we're talking about. And yeah, everything's going to make more sense. And just on a quick note, since that candle had no wick to the top, this is why we're seeing this next 30 minute now come back and start to retrace. So yeah. But I mean, obviously when you're looking to go and get consistent, obviously most people or most traders who are successful, then they go and get themselves a mentor, which doesn't necessarily have to be me. You know, you can go and get any mentor you want, but there's one rule of thumb that I like to say when it becomes to choosing a mentor is you want to see, are they transparent? You know, do they put their money where their mouth is? You know, you have all these educators that I see that like to say, oh yeah, I knew price was going there, but I mean, I never see them execute on it. You know, you want to be making sure that, you know, the person is transparent with what they do and can, you know, provide you with education. Are they really, you know, going to be there to support you on a 24/7 basis? So yeah, there's a few things to this. What's your view on gold and the massive drop at London Open? I have no view, in all honesty. I mean, I wasn't sure. The only thing that I think from a technical perspective of why gold dropped was because of what happened on the 1 hour. So I discussed on the 1 hour, obviously we had support here to the left. we had these rejection wicks here too. Now, as price was trickling down to support, obviously, you know, we needed this area to break for gold to continue dropping. Now, multiple times were candles, you know, coming down, tapping into this support, but closing above. And then we had this big liquidity grab on the 1 hour, and the 1 hour candle closed below and broke support. So once it did that, that definitely was a signal for gold to continue further down. When you look left as well, we had a clean candle to the left, which obviously we know a lot of the times is going to get mirrored. So that's why obviously that big candle got mirrored. But from like if there's a fundamental aspect or anything like that, I don't know. I mean, it dropped 300 pips in a matter of 5 minutes, so there was a heck of a lot of volume. But I can't tell you why it did that, other than from a technical standpoint, why that would make sense and why that happened from a technical standpoint. On the 30-minute, there was no confirmation. The only issues we had was this minor support on the 30-minute time frame, but there was clearly enough volume just to break through that zone. If we look at gold now, we have a resistance formed on the 15-minute. So as long as the high is respected and this candle even, let's say, breaks the low of the previous 15-minute candle, there's a very high chance it's going to retest this low and then continue moving bearish. But yeah. Thanks, man. Oh, look at GJ. Look at GJ. Who was your mentor when you first started? When I first started, I didn't have a mentor. I taught myself pretty much a lot of things. Obviously, I found traders, you know, like Raja, and I found Paul, and you know, I learned some things from some other traders. You know, that's how it is. But I mean, you know, I think overall, Raja's probably taught me the most, 100%. You know, like what I've learned from him about managing risk and focusing on keeping losses small, like just those little, well, not really little concept, but just those concepts that, you know, can be developed over time, like, or even just mentioning it, like, you know, even me just hearing him mention it, and then I look at my own trade and I'm like, okay, well, how I don't know, let's say, how could I have managed risk on my trade? Then I start to see for myself. You know, it's not about me going to him and seeing what he's doing. It's like he's saying, okay, well, it's important to keep losses small. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I have reduced my loss? Well, you know, one thing I noticed is if candle close against me, there's a higher probability that my trade is going to lose. So that's when I created my rule that if a candle closes against me, I'm going to take some risk off the trade, you know. So that's one thing that I learned as well for myself. But I think the best thing about having a mentor is just like that, you know, them little small things that are seeded into your mind, but you go and you do the hard work to find out how you could do that for yourself, you know. So that's what I would say. How long you been doing this? I've been doing this for well, the live streams, I've been doing the live streams for about 3 months, but trading overall 4 years. But Raja is doing it differently than you. Well, I mean, we're similar. He trades the New York session, I trade the London session. I mean, we both trade the same pair, I suppose. But I always looked at GJ for many years anyway. So, but yeah, there you go. Did you ever watch HFX? No, I've never watched him, but I have heard of him. He's good. I learned from watching him as well. Yeah, Raja's very good. Very good trader. Very good trader. Even the 1 hour candle also had no wick to the top. So when the 1 hour, the 30-minute, and the 15-minute had no wick to the top, yeah, it makes no sense for price to continue up. But yeah. Yeah, Raja was the first person to live stream trading. And him and Paul both said to me that they, I should do it, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, man, nah, he's a good guy. Conservative, but you can learn a lot. Yes. Oh man, this, the amount you can learn from these live streams is just incredible. Honestly, I mean, like, there's so many shit courses out there. There's so much noise, like most of these educators, honestly, they generally just go and find a free course on the internet and then just repackage it and sell it for hundreds of pounds. Like, it's no joke. Like, there's very few in the industry that actually, will go and provide you with everything that they do to be successful, And if you go to my Instagram, Raj's Instagram, a lot of some good traders' Instagrams, you're gonna see, transparency. But then you go to other Instagrams, and then once you look at that and you go to other people's, then you start to see, well, why aren't they showing profits? Why can't they show their MT5 terminal? Why can't they show their charts? Whatever, like, there's always one thing that, as soon as someone starts to be a little bit fishy about one thing, it's like, okay, well, why is that? It doesn't make sense. But yeah. I'm finishing week here, man. 2 trades, 2 wins. Have a good weekend, bro. See you Monday. Yep, see you, Freddie, mate. Awesome. Congratulations for having a good, profitable week. So, well done, mate. We'll see you Monday morning. HFX gold move was 1 minute candle. Major financial institution move. We'll know soon. Oh, that was a 1 minute candle? Jesus. Wow. Yeah, probably some... definitely a lot of volume. What are your thoughts on IML? Unfortunately, that's how I started and left after 2 months. Well, I think that says it all. But I mean, I have no opinion on them. Like, I don't go around talking about IML like they're bad or nothing. But I've never heard a good thing. I mean, yeah. If I'm just gonna be completely honest, I think it's a load of shit. I mean, they want to charge you. I've seen some of the prices that they charge for you to learn Forex. I mean, wow. It's crazy. Just gave you a follow on Insta. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Where do you read price action candles mostly? 30-minute, or is it all time frames? So when I'm looking for an entry, or when I'm looking to take a trade, it's gonna be either the 15-minute or the 30-minute. And when I'm looking at the higher time frames, what I'm doing is I'm basing a bias based on that. So for example, when we go to the daily, right, obviously when you start to look at this properly, you start to realize. So let's look at the daily. So let's measure, let's say, this one daily candle, right? This one daily candle here has moved 50 pips. Okay, so now you say, oh man, well, how do I catch this daily candle? How do I catch this 50 pip move in one daily candle, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the previous daily candle, because you're going to see and try and read where the next daily candle is going to go. So we know, okay, well, since the previous daily closed bullish, there's a chance that the next one's going to come up and fill the wick. There's a chance if it does that and breaks that wick, that it can continue on to fill this next wick over here at 141,300, right? Because a wick on a candle is just a point where price reached, and wherever the body, this is the body, closes, is where the candle retraced. So this candle would have looked like this. This candle would have looked like this when it was moving up, but then towards the end of the day, price on the smaller time frames was doing this, right? So imagine the candles currently here, the daily candle's got like an hour left to close, and the smaller time frames were starting to retrace. So therefore, it left a wick. Now when the new daily candle opens up, right, and price is starting to create bullish candles, we can anticipate at that point that the next daily is also going to continue bullish. So when these next daily candles are the next candles on the smaller time frames are printing bullish, this is your daily candle. The next daily candle going bullish, because on the smaller time frames it looks like this. This could be the 4-hour time frame, and on the 30-minute it could be like this, right? So you might have a couple of small bearish candles and then a couple more bullish candles going bullish, so that's what it's going to look like on the smaller time frames. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at these smaller time frames to try and anticipate the whole daily, or the next 4-hour, so that's basically what we're all putting it. It's all one picture, and you're trying to put it all in together. So daily candles made up of 4-hour candles. So these were the 4-hour candles. We can see they were going bullish, and then we go down to the smaller time frame. So basically I execute on the 30-minute and the 15-minute. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at the higher time frames to see where price can go. So on the 4-hour, things I'm going to be aware of is these rejection areas over here and over here. And the rule of thumb is that, let's say, because we're reading the candles, that this candle came up, rejected this area, this candle came up, rejected this area, this candle came up, rejected this area, this candle came up, rejected this area because it was still tapping into the zone and pulling back. But then this 4-hour candle, it didn't reject. It closed within this zone. It closed within these wicks. So there's a higher chance for the next one to also continue and push through that zone, which is exactly what happened. So that's how you would anticipate. So when we look left at this zone here, we would want to see something similar. So maybe this 4-hour currently is going to be like this 4-hour here. Tried to come up, but retraced. So then we have to say, okay, well, maybe after the weekend, the next one's going to do it. But we don't know. But just for an example's sake. But there we go. A little bit of explanation, a little bit of learning there. People find you after they leave them. Yeah, I get a lot of messages from ex-IML people. That's kind of why I'm just like, man, I can't be bothered to tell them. I think they've learned for themselves what they're all about. So yeah. Why do all the streamers show live trading via TradingView and not their MT terminals? I mean, like, for me personally, like, it's not about the MT5 terminal. Like, it's not like, oh, you're not showing the MT5 terminal. It's because with TradingView, right, you get to look at, I mean, it's actually quite a difficult question, but I think, one, because I use TradingView to look at the charts was the first thing, just because, like, this is the easiest place to look at charts. The other thing as well is when you look at your MT5 terminal, notice how many gaps, notice how many gaps there are on your MT5 or your MT5. Notice how many gaps there are for the MT5 or MT4 terminal. Notice how many wicks are on there that aren't on TradingView, because when you're doing it from your terminal, that's also directly from the broker. And sometimes when you do it directly from the broker, you're going to get, so on TradingView, this candle could be bearish, but on MT5, it's going to be bullish. So I found that this is the neatest, the easiest way to review charts. We've got all the drawing tools we need. We've got indicators. We've got everything. So I find it so much easier just to stream using the TradingView, and then I have my MT5 terminal on my other screen to be able to take a trade. Like, yeah, that's just me personally. I mean, like, no one can say to me I'm not like transparent. I mean, every single one of my trades and profits is on my Instagram, and I actually show videos of my MT5 terminal, go on the history and say, okay, here was the trades for this week. Like, if you go on my story from last night, you're going to see the only 2 trades that were taken this week. You're going to see the profit for this week. You're going to see, it says in the top left hand corner, live hedge account. So yeah, no, I understand, of course. Like, some traders will just trade off TradingView and not even show you profits. So, but obviously, like, sometimes it's not always about trading off the MT5 terminal. Plus, the other thing as well is you do have to be careful, like, I understand I want to show profits, right? But let me tell you one thing. I never wanted to do that. And I'll tell you why. And the reason I never wanted to show profits is because we live in a dangerous world. And you never know who's scheming on you. You never know. You never know what scam might someone plant or whatever. Especially if they see that you're trading live and then they see an account balance of, let's say, 30K. They're going to be looking at you and thinking, well, I don't want to work hard for that money. I'd like to, there's some bad people and you just don't know. So I never wanted to show profits, but like what actually Raja said to me was, he said, if you want to be a mentor and you want to have a group, and people will come to you if you're transparent with what you do. So that's why I made the decision to say, okay, you know what, I necessarily didn't want to show my profits because, one, it looks like I'm showing off, which is not me. I'm not really a maybe when I was younger I used to like a bit of designer gear, but now that I'm older, I'm not really, I don't give a shit about clout. I'm not for clout. So when he said that, it made me think, like, if I want people to take me serious, I need to show that I can put my money where my mouth is. I need to show that actually I'm not just one of these to say, here, look at this chart. I told you gold was going up. Here, look at this. I told you GJ was going up. But that means jack shit if you don't put your money on the line. I put my money on the line 80-90% of the time. 10% of the time on Fridays or the odd day, I'm not going to do it because I'm not confident in that trade. But everyone knows that, because everyone on the live stream knows if I'm saying I'm not taking a trade, I'm not taking a trade. But when I say I'm in buys, and everyone knows that. Everyone can see that, and everyone will see the outcome afterwards. So, yeah. So that's pretty much the whole story behind that one. But sorry to over complicate the explanation, but yeah, when I first did this, I never really wanted to show profits. I saw everyone showing profits. I'm like, why? Like, why is everyone trying to show off? But I didn't quite understand, the ones who show profits, yeah, I don't know. There we go. I think that's enough said about it. Here we go. MT terminals don't give you all the technical analysis tools. Yeah, that's another reason. What time frame do you use to set up support and resistance? Do you create them yourself, or do you have an algo for it? Sean Beck, I create the support and resistance for myself. I don't have an algo. I use no algorithms or anything like that. So basically, how it works and what I do is, okay, let's do this quick. Let's do some fresh analysis. So I'll show you, everyone here live, how I would break this down. So what I do is I start with the daily and I draw my support and resistance zones based on the daily. So let's just say, for example, we know we have a daily support over here because this is an area where daily candles were printing bullish. We had a resistance over here because this was the area at which the daily candle went bearish. So now I'm looking at this area on the daily. When what I do is I go to the 4 hour, and now I need to neaten up my zones based on the 4 hour. So again, I'm going to clear everything, but I'm keeping in mind that 139,900 is a daily support, and I'm keeping in mind that 140,800 to 149,900 is a daily resistance. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear everything, and I'm going to look at the most recent price action now on the 4 hour. So all my support and resistance zones on the 4 hours. So we know that we had a resistance zone over here because we had consolidation, and then we had price breakout. We know that we have resistance over here now on the 4 hour time frame, because we can see on the 31st of December that price tried to come up and then it created resistance to continue down. We can also see that in the Asian session we also created a support over here on the 4 hour, right? We can go one further and say we had a support down over here, and we can go one further and say that we have a support down over here. So already now we've got our zones here on the 4 hour, but now what we need to do is we need to go to the 1 hour time frame, and we need to say, okay, now we need to neaten up our zones further. So on the 1 hour we can say, okay, well, this is correct, there's support here, but we need to adjust this zone, because actually on the 1 hour time frame the support is down over here. We also need to say, okay, well, we had the right idea here, but now we need to neaten up our zone on the 1 hour time frame here, and we need to say, okay, well, we have a resistance over here. We can now neaten up our resistance on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour, sorry, and say that actually the 1 hour resistance is over here. And then again, vice versa on the 30 minute, we look at the 30 minute and we can say, okay, well, this one's fine because this is kind of the same vicinity. This one also okay, but maybe want to neaten this up a little bit, right? We can say, okay, this makes sense now because this was a previous resistance here from the 4th of January. And then today, or yesterday, sorry, we were tapping into this area and failed to break above. Okay, and then right now we can say, okay, well, this is actually our most recent resistance and here's our most recent support, you know. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. So I scale down on the time frames, keep scaling down, and just neaten up as we go, because obviously, again, how I was talking about it on a daily, you have one daily candle, and then if you zoom in, you're gonna have, 4 hour candles and 1 hour candles. As you magnify in, the zones change and they get different based on the time frame. But there we go. And it looked ugly, Ash. Okay, I want you as mentor. I have 0 losses since 24th December, but I have tight ranges. I mean, yeah, of course, if you want me as your mentor, that's up to you. All mentorship information is available on the website on the screen, www.hfxtradinggroup.com. But obviously that's up to you anyway. I'm not here to pressure anyone to join to the group. That's just for those who want that extra guidance and extra learning. You're gonna see everything that you get on there, or check out the Instagram as well. But yeah, anyway, let's focus on the charts. Thanks for the explanation, no problem. You can easily explain and do analysis on TradingView compared to MT4. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that too much. You don't necessarily need your MT4, MT5 terminal when you're live trading. You just want to make sure someone's being 100%, transparent with what they do and put their money down, and that's it. Thoughts on Euro JPY? Euro JPY, looks like it continued moving down. I think the target here for Euro JPY is this support at 126.950. I didn't even look at it, but I think my thoughts on Euro JPY was the sell was right over here. Because, we spoke about, I said, once these candles were closing below this area, if it can create some resistance. So you had a weak bullish candle close right here. And then you had a 15-minute candle close bearish with a wick. And the wick got below everything. So with momentum, you'd expect the next candle to respect this high and then continue moving down. So if I took an entry over here, where would I have taken the sell? Where would I have placed my stops? So this was discussed, remember. So if once it created resistance, I probably would have executed right over here. My target would be 126.950, and my stop loss would have originally been above the bullish candle. And then what you can do is, if this candle breaks the high of the previous candle, this is the point in which you can close 50%. And then as this candle's coming down, moving into profits, I would start to bring my stop loss and tying it up above the previous candle. And then now, if I was in this sell, I would be break even, because it has no business coming back up to this area now. You really expecting price to continue. So that's how I would have managed and took the trade. But there we go. I understand. Thanks for your honesty. That's okay. No problem. What about FTMO funding? Is good for real traders with skills, because a lot of newbies are completing challenge, gambling, getting lucky, copying Raja trades or your stream. Yeah. I mean, look, FTMO, funding talent, all of these things are great for people who are already profitable. I mean, you can't expect just someone to fund you and then copy someone else and expect it to work out. So I would just, yeah, I mean, I'm never going to be interested in any type of funding by someone else, but yeah, it just, yeah, I think if you're already profitable, if you have your own strategy, if you're confident in your own abilities, then perfect, go for it. If you're not profitable, then just hold tight, you know, trade something small with your own money, see how you go, and I think you'll be fine. Why don't you work with colors per time frame so you can easily see that, for example, red is a daily support, resistance, etc., so you know how strong it is? Yeah, I see what you're saying, but in my head, right, in my head, I already know what I'm looking for and where we are, you know, because I break it down from the daily every morning, you know. So now look at the daily. Oh, that's Euro JPY. You know, when I break it down from a daily perspective, I already know where I'm looking for. And anyway, you know, these points of support resistance on the higher time frames, you know, essentially as you zoom in to the smaller time frames, it's the same thing, you know, because the 4-hour resistance isn't, so this 4-hour resistance isn't going to break if this resistance doesn't break, right? That's why the buys were this morning, because it broke on the smaller time frames. So if it doesn't break on the smaller time frames, then it's not going to break on the higher time frames, because listen, remember, the smaller time frames, they make up the higher time frames, right? You know, I know we're working backwards when we're analyzing, but when we're looking for trades, you know, these 30-minute candles printing bullish is what made these 1-hour candles go bullish, which is what made this 4-hour candle go bullish. So the first confirmation you had for this 4-hour candle to go bullish was this 30-minute right here. So you always, when, you know, the zones, they get more important the smaller time frame you go down, basically. But when you're at a stronger level, it would require you know, more volume to break that zone. So you just have to keep in mind you're at a 4-hour resistance, you're at a, you know, whatever. So I personally would never do that, but if that's something that you think would benefit you, then give it a try. You know, you never know. I know some people that are going to do this. I don't even care, we'll just remove it. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, 30-minute resistance. I know some people are going to get a light blue line, and they're going to go, well, this is the 1-hour resistance. Oh no, we need a new one. Okay, they're going to go, light blue line is 30-minute resistance, and they're going to go, but this is the 1-hour resistance. Then they're going to go, and then this is the 4-hour resistance, and they're going to look at it like that. So they're going to put it into perspective that once price is leaving this area, that it's breaking through the 30-minute, the 1-hour, and the 4-hour. That's something you can do too, but just a little example for you there. So you could do something like that. You know, you could use different color lines, put a little note. You can get a little text box here, and you can go 30 min. You know, you can see that on the screen. Then you can do go, you know, 1 hour, right? And then you can just plot them down like that, so you know, okay, this is the 1 hour, this is 30-minute, this is the one, you know, whatever. So yeah, if that works for you, then perfect. Okay, let's get these questions, let's get through this. What do you think of my trade idea of GA? Yeah, I'll literally check that out in 1 minute. That's what I do, but I do it differently, and my way makes tighter ranges. Okay, that's fine. Did you do a lot of simulations when you first started, or is it watching the market every day sufficient? I think watching the market every day is very good. And then when you start to see ideas and patterns, that's when you go to your simulations and you test out those ideas. So I would say the simulations came a little bit later on, but initially I want to see the live market move. I want to see how the market in real terms moves. I want to see how candles print. I want to see how they make the top wick first. I want to see how they make a bottom wick first. I want to see how the smaller time frames build up. So yeah, that's what I would say. I don't know if you told me to look up Baby Pimp or you said something else. Can you please spell it out for me? Yeah, it's Baby Pips. Babypips.com. Babypips.com. Could you review GBP AUD for longs? If you send a chart, sure thing. I'm going to check out Jayan's chart in literally 1 minute. Yeah, that's what I do the same. Yeah, I do this. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's check out this chart here. This is GA. GA. Let me just... Okay, GA. So this is GBP AUD. So resistance formed, waiting for a breakout. So this is the 1 hour time frame. Okay. So bullish momentum from previous support. Yes. Waiting for next 4 hour and 1 hour to close bullish. Double confirmation above resistance. Okay. Clean range to the left. Yes. Wait for support to be created after 1 hour breakout, entry on the retest. Possible trade idea. Got a win on GJ early. This only paper trading this. Okay, yes, if you're paper trading this, then that's perfect, because then, you know, you're going to learn potentially how you could have won or lost that trade without losing. Let me just, okay, fine. Let me take a look at GBP AUD, because I like to look at the 30 minute to be able to make a better informed judgment. I'll check it out for a sec here. So, okay, so if we look on the 30 minute now, so it seems as though the 30 minute candle has broken and closed above this area. Now, the current 30 minute that's, you know, open right now, is already wicked down. It's respecting the low. It looks like it's trying to continue up. So if you look on the 1 hour, the 1 hour candle is still open. If you look on the 15 minute, yeah, so I would say now, if we look at price now, since this 15-minute candle is breaking the high of the previous 15-minute candle, I think there's a very high chance at this point that GA can continue moving bullish. Now, what you would want to see is you would want to see these candles staying above this area on the smaller time frame. So you'd want to see these 15-minute candles closing bullish above this area. If we look on the 30-minute also, you know, maybe also you want to see this next 30-minute break the high of the previous 30-minute candle. Now, obviously, since it's been moving up from around 7:30 a.m. and it's moved around 50 pips already, it may create some support, but I know GA not that well, but well enough to know that sometimes it's just going to keep on going. You can see there's a lot of volume in this pair. So in theory, I think right now, you know, once this 30-minute closed above, I think the buyers were going to be somewhere over here, expecting price to continue up, and then keeping your stop loss, you know, below the breakout candle. So since, like I said, it broken the high of the previous 15-minute candle, GA should continue moving up. And then once it breaks the 30-minute high, I think it's going to be good at that point. You know, I think it could at least mirror this candle here. I think it could hit 175,161. I think that's going to be the target here before maybe it retraces. Look on the 15-minute. Yeah, because we have nice clean candles on the 15-minute. So that's what I'm thinking. And then if this, once this 15-minute candle closes bullish in 3 minutes time, it paves way for the next one to wick down and then continue moving up. So we'll come back to GA. I'll keep it on the screen there. We'll see how we go. If anyone's in this trade, I suppose I could be here for a bit of moral support. So we'll see what happens there. So I removed my zones on GJ, didn't I? We want 148, 250. So yeah, right now GJ is just consolidating. Consolidating. But yeah, so obviously I know we've hit 80 people on the stream here today. Just obviously for those of you on here this morning, Stop Loss Matters, he couldn't make it on today as a guest, so he's going to be back next Friday to do the to be the guest with us next Friday. So he's going to be back next week. So yeah, unfortunately couldn't make it this morning. So yeah, it looks like GA is going to continue pumping up. The other thing as well, when you look on the 1 hour, you can see how the previous 1 hour candle, it closed at this resistance, right? So when I see that, this is an example of an impulse entry where the next 1 hour candle breaks the high and continues. And then you have the confirmation based on the 30-minute right over here. So yeah, as you can see, GA should be moving up now. It's breaking the high of the previous 30-minute. Yeah, GA should continue moving bullish over here. Some fucking bird on my roof. Pitter-patting its feet all around. Yeah, GA should continue moving bullish. Let's watch GA for a minute. GJ's not doing jack shit, so I'm going to be here for those of people who are in GA buys. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think GA is going to be a nice move here. Yeah, 1.75, 150. I think that's going to be the target. Okay. Two things I'm keeping an eye on, GJ. 4 hour candle closing in 25 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if the 4 hour closes above 141. Yeah, definitely. Yes, I think it's going to close above this area. So, which may mean that we may see a pullback for MY, right? We may see that pullback or this liquidity grab. I'm just thinking, are we going to continue pushing higher on a Friday? Maybe, but we'll see. If we close above 141 on the 4 hour, possible we could be heading back down to that range. Yes, exactly my thoughts. Because the next 4 hour candle, it may just continue running, but I would like to say that it's going to do some form of retest. Or if we close above 141, 100 on the 30-minute or 1 hour time frame, we could possibly aim for a wick fill on the 4 hour, but I think it'll be risky since we ranged on the 30-minute. Yeah, I think since the 30 minutes just kind of ranging, yeah, I think further upside is going to be difficult, but 141, 300 would make sense, but there's really not enough range. So technically now I think, yeah, we can just kind of say this is the range here. So you'd want the 30-minute to close above this minor resistance, and then I would say, yeah, you're right, it's going to continue moving. But until then, it's just consolidating and it's just mess. So good job, thank you. What's your bias on GJ now when you see the 4 hour is at the top of that range? Would you expect the 4 hour to hold and look for sells? So basically what I would say based on the 4 hour is obviously the 4 hour is closing above this resistance at 141. So we know that it's closing above. Now we have a lot of rejections here. So now that we can see the 4 hour clearly had enough volume to, not reject here like previously, I think more than likely we'll see some form of pullback for pre-New York. And then what we'll probably find is the next 4 hours bottom wick is going to be that pullback. And then with New York, pre-New York, if, and I say if it's going to continue, then yeah, it's gonna continue driving up and break the high of the previous 4 hour. And then, I'd like to say we'll end up somewhere around 141, 300. But I'm still just remembering that we're at that weekly zone. I'm remembering that. So I could expect at any point some deep pullback. So I think for the next 4 hour, if it does pull back, you would want to see some solid support formed for any form of continuation. But yeah. But if the 30-minute now, because it may not pull back, right? We don't know. So if the 30-minute now breaks above this resistance, then I think it's a good idea for price to continue on at that point. Oh, I just want to say, Salim, sorry, mate. I didn't see that you put it in the Zoom chat. I read it out from the YouTube, but sorry about that, mate. I need to put that up on the screen as well. Okay. What key things do you look for when you look in a pair? Key things I look for Do I understand the price action? Obviously, is a major one. You know, how is there volume at the time of the session that I want to be trading? You know, I'm looking at this the ranges. How big are the ranges is also very important. So we know that an average range on GJ is maybe going to be 20, 30 pips, you know, but if you look at, let's say, USD JPY, your average range is only going to be around 8 to 10 pips. Sometimes it's going to be 6, 7 pips. So those are good things to be looking for. How many monitors do you use, and what are the screen sizes? Thanks. I've got 2 monitors. There's Samsung 4K HD monitors, and they are, don't quote me, but I believe they're 34, maybe 36 inch, something around that. Waiting for 1 hour to close a solid 8-10 pips above. GA looks like it's retreating at the moment on the lower time frames. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. So okay, let's take a look at what happened on the 15-minute. Okay, so the 15-minute candle closed bullish, right? It broke the high, came up into profits. Okay, so yeah, since I'd say if you was in buys and it's coming down to break this low over here, that's probably the point at which you'd be wanting to close maybe like 50%. But it could easily, you know, because it's still respecting the low on the 30-minute, could easily come back up in the range. So if you was in buys, let's say you was in buys, and it's coming back in the range here, and the 30-minute close is back in the range, I would probably, yeah, I'd probably close the full position at that point, because it makes no sense for a price to continue up after that. But yeah, these are just the probability aspects, you know. Trading is all about probabilities. For those people who are new, you know, like if you take a loss, you have to understand if you looked at the right thing, then if it's a loss, it's just pure it's just pure probabilities. Can I get your thoughts? Trade idea on GJ, thank you. Yes. Let's check this out. But yeah, I think as long as this 30-minute candle closes above this area, the buys are still valid. But if it doesn't, then yeah, it does make it pretty difficult. But at least the previous 15 closed bullish. So I suppose you just have to wait to see how this candle closes, you know. Okay, let's do one more. Move this. Okay, we've got GBP JPY. Is this the 1 minute? 1 minute chart? Okay. So break and retest above 141 200 safer buys, minus bullish structure. Break and retest 141 safer sells. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let me go back. Yeah, because even on the 30-minute, this is the 30-minute resistance. We also have, see, I'd say for sells, I'd say you could also have safe sells below 141.80 based on the 30-minute. But obviously you're looking at, yeah, I think that still makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, I never really look at the 1 minute. It's not my speciality. So, but yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah, safer sells would be below 141, 100%. But for buys, I would agree. It's going to be above 141 200. Some form of break and retest is going to be a safe buy. And plus, it would be nice if the 30-minute closes above. Obviously, from a 1 minute perspective, I suppose that would also be nice. Because then, you know, you're looking for that retest on the smaller on the 1 minute, and then expecting it to continue. So, yeah. But there you go. How do you find trading on the 1 minute? Because I've never done it. Looks like GPJPY is trying to break above 140 200. See if it can close above. Right, so the candle's got 7 minutes left to close, so I'm going to quickly run to the toilet. Let's take a look at GA. So it is retracing. Okay, so if anyone is in GA buys, you would want this 15-minute candle to flip bullish and then still respect this low right over here. So let's take a look on the 5-minute. Yeah, 5 minutes just consolidating. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The 30-minute close will also be the 1 hour close. Would that be extra safe if it closes above? Yes. So if the 1 hour closes bullish and the 30-minute closes bullish, yeah, that is considered. Sorry, if the 1 hour candle closes above and the 30-minute candle closes above, that is considered to be a stronger confirmation. If the 30-minute closes above but the 1 hour doesn't, that's considered to be maybe, let's say, slightly weaker. But yeah, I would say when you have the 30-minute and the 1 hour both in your favor, that's a strong confirmation trade. I learned trading on the 1 minute from Capital Hungry. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've heard of Jeevan. Never spoke to him, but I've heard him talk before. He's a very, very intelligent guy, so very nice. We've got around 86, 85 people here. Nice. Still yet to hit that big 100 mark. We need to get to 100 views on the stream here. It's the next goal. Damn, I just see 90 people and then 10 people left immediately. It's crazy. Okay, what's going on with GA? Oh, yeah, GA's come back in the range here. So I think for those who was in buys, well, I don't know if anyone was in buys, but yeah, I'm not thinking it's looking good at this point. Just one of those.
You know, just
go on,
just
mate.
looking at G. Oh yeah, sorry. Just looking at GG at the minute. On the 4 hour, if it closes the way it is, then what I'm expecting is to go down to the 1 hour time frame, and what I'd like to see is maybe like a little pullback, but we still have to respect the 141 080 area.
Yes.
And then possibly we could take a trade when we break the top wick of the current 4 hour candle, because that will be a really good confirmation. That's what I think. Because we failed to close above that area since on the 4 hour since let me have a look. Oh, it's been a while. we tried to close above, but we failed. We just kept having wicks. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing if we close strong on the 4 hour, that could be like a good trade to take.
Potentially. I mean, it depends how the 1 hour closes. If the 1 hour closes weak like this, then this 1 hour top wick is still the top wick of the 4 hour as well. So if, like you say, you break that, then it can continue up. My only issue is to wherever we look left, there's not a lot of range, you know, because there's a resistance at 141, 240. Maybe we're going to get up to 141, 300. So let's say 141, 300's incoming. It's literally only 10 pips away. So the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
issue I
true.
have is that there's not enough range. But I think your idea is correct. So we just have to see. But I think since this 30-minute candle's closing like a fairly strong bullish, I'm not taking any trades today, but just from a theory based, if it closes strong and it's closing at this resistance, either we may see like a weak 30-minute for the new 1 hour and then the next one breaks the high, or the next bullish candle is going to break the high of this current bullish candle and then continue moving on. But we'll have to see, because the 1 hour candle is closing like weak, did a liquidity grab, so we'll have to see. Oh no, GA. Oh, GA's right back down. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just those probabilities, you know. Just one of those probabilities. Even had 15-minute candles closing above, and all you could really do at that point was, you know, manage your risk, and that's it. That is it. Yeah. GA can be nasty. Hey mate, how much attention do you pay to the session times? London Open, close, pre-New York, etc. Would you wait for those exact times, or just looking for volume around these times on relevant pairs? Cheers. Yeah, I do pay attention to session times, definitely. That's obviously why I trade the London session. So if I'm trading just the London session, let's say, the times that I want to be aware of are going to be 7 a.m. So that's pre-London hours. 7:30 a.m. is also another time of volume. And then the most important one is going to be 8 a.m. because that's London Open time. So London Open, we're typically going to see either like a pullback or a volume push with momentum. So those times are important. You know, after 8 a.m., 9 a.m., sometimes you're going to see some volume. Around 10 a.m. sometimes there's also volume because it's coming up to like the last 1 hour of the 4 hour candle. So those sort of things you need to be thinking about for whichever session that you trade. Obviously, if you're a swing trader or you're an intraday where, you know, you look just based on key levels and rather than session times and volumes, then yes, in theory, you know, you may want to say, okay, I'll look at London Open. If nothing happens, then I come back for pre-New York. If nothing happens, I come back for New York Open. If nothing happens, I come back for NYSE Open. So yeah, you can play it like that. But for me, I'm focusing on the times that I know there's volume during the London session hours. Hi Harrison, you are doing well. Can you please increase sound on YouTube? I like your presentation. Yes, thank you very much. I think I'm on like max volume. I'm not really sure how I can increase my volume, to be completely honest with you. It's at complete max on my Streamlabs and everything. But let me just double check if there must be something I can do to make it louder. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, not really sure. Yeah, it doesn't really let me do it. Hold on, let me just... Okay, what? Yeah, see, it's on 100%, which makes no sense, but it is. So it's the loudest that it goes. Oh well. So the best I can do, I'm afraid. I'm gonna try and get a better mic anyway, just not one that plays Indian music. See, maybe the pullback was because, in fact, the 4-hour candle was coming to a close. Maybe that does make sense now looking back. Obviously, I just looked at the smaller time frames. But obviously, if I was looking at the whole picture, it would make more sense. Yeah, possibly the pullback based on the 4-hour. So I would just say you have a range at this point. So since it's pulled back, if you didn't take the buys, I think you could wait for this resistance to break and then continue moving up. Yeah, I think it was a pullback. I mean, look at this. But GA is pretty difficult to trade anyway. Oh, there we go for GJ. It's broken the high now of the previous 30-minute candle. It's also broken the high of the previous 15-minute candle. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Yeah, I think we're going to call it a day at around 10:30. Oh, so the 30-minute candle broke the high and is now retracing. Oh. So let's say you was in buys. Let's say you was in buys. And someone's going to ask, okay, well, how could I manage risk on this trade? So let's say, let's do a little bit of education here because it's a Friday. It's a nice easy day. So the pink line is going to be the entry. So here's the pink line. And let's say your stop loss is going to be the red line. So your stop loss we know is below the previous 30-minute candle. So we know that the stop loss is around 11 pips, right? And now you're going to say, okay, well, how do I manage risk on this trade? Well, what we can see is that we have a 15-minute candle right over here that closed bullish, right? And now this is the second half of the overall 30-minute that just closed. So a place that I would say that you can reduce the risk or manage the trade is if this candle, since it came up to break the high, right? It came up to break the high. Break the high. And my English is poor. It came up to break the high. And since it's coming down, and if it breaks this low right over here, this is the point at which you would close, or I would close 50%, right? Because it's not respecting the low of the previous 15-minute candle, which decreases the overall probability for the overall current 30-minute open to go bullish. So when we take impulse entries, the mistake that a lot of people make is that they forget impulse means that once price breaks that high, you're expecting it to continue moving up. Technically speaking, if it breaks the high, the minute it starts coming back in the range, your idea is invalid because you was expecting it to break out of the range, right? So let's say, for example, you're just saying, okay, well, it could be coming to create a bottom wick. Fine. Either way, if it breaks this low right over here, you could close 50%. Now, let's say you close 50% once it broke this low. So you close 50% right over here. Now, let's do the maths a little bit. Let's do the maths. So we're going to show how you can really reduce your losses. So your entry was over here, and you close 50% in around, let's go with 7 pip drawdown, right? So you close 50% at 7 pips. So let's just put minus 7 pips, right? Now let's say at that point, the 15-minute candle, right, after breaking this low, it closes bearish. Let's just say it closes bearish, and it closes back in the range. In fact, since it's coming down, see, at this point I would be closing out, because look at the 30-minute. It's coming right back in the range. It broke the high. It's coming right back in the range. There's such a high chance it's gonna hit your stop loss at this point. So I'll be looking at, okay, now's the time to maybe pull out. But let's say you don't. Let's say you hold to see if you want to leave. Wait to see if price will hit your stop loss. And let's say it does hit your stop loss over here. So you close 50% and you let the rest hit stop loss. So let's measure this. So the entry is over here. It hits stop loss around 12 pips. So the second 50% was at 12 pips. Now let's say the original risk. Let's say the original risk was 100, or let's say you had a one lot position open. You had a one lot position open. So let's do the maths here. So it broke the high, and the original stop loss was 12 pips. So let's go with that. The original risk was 120. The original risk was £120. That was original risk. So I'm gonna put OR, original risk. Now, since the candle came up and then broke the low, we said we closed 50% in a minus 7 pip drawdown. So that would suggest then, so 5 pips would be so this was a 12 pip, wasn't it? So 6 pips would be £60. So 7 pips would be £70. So we closed out the trade, the 50%, for minus, so we're just going to put over here minus 70, right? That was the 50% that we closed. So we closed minus 70. So if we do minus 70 minus 120, we know that we've got £50 left on the table, right? We've got £50 left on the table risk. Now, let's say at that point you leave the rest of the trade to hit stop loss at that point, right? So the 50% that's still open, £50, hits the stop loss, right? You're going to be losing a lot less than you plan to lose, right? Because the original risk was 120. You closed 50% of the position, right, at minus 70. So now, what lot size do we have open? Well, we have a 0.5 lot still open at this point, right? Because we closed 50%. So we closed the one lot, and now we have a 0.5 lot running. So now let's do the maths, right? Now let's do the maths. So if you was to close the 0.5 lot in 12 pip drawdown, then that would be, what would that be? That'd be £60, right? So no, I've done the maths wrong there. Oh god, this is why I should have paid attention at maths class. Man, I literally just done a webinar on this. How can I get the maths all muddled up? Such a moron at times. Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, let's just make up a figure, right? Because I know it's going to be less than what you plan to lose either way. So just think of the principle. So the principle here is that you have a 0.5 lot left open, right? The rest of the risk is going to be less than what you planned. So let's just say roughly the original risk was 120. More than likely, you're probably going to get out of this trade with like a minus 90, maybe minus 80, something like that. Unless someone can work out the maths, because my brain's just gone a bit like dead numb right now. But yeah, either way, you reduced your risk. And then you can even say, okay, well, maybe because it never hit stop loss, I can leave a position to run at that point, right? But either way, you're always seeing where you could reduce the risk. That's the point. The point here is that when you reduce risk, right, you're always going to lose less than you plan to lose. So it's a real bonus. I need to work this maths out because that's going to just get on my nerves. Right. I'm having to resort to a calculator because... Okay. Yeah, since the 15-minute candle was also closed bearish and it's closed back in the range, I probably would be closing a lot of the position at this point, for sure. We've got 94 people here in the building. Let's see if we can break 100. That'd be awesome. Where's Kelsey? Where's Kelsey when I need him? I know he's the mathematician around here.
Yeah, I'm here, but I haven't been paying attention.
Oh no, he's not been paying it.
What do you want to know?
Basically, my brain's gone a bit numb right now. It's one of those situations where I had it in my head that I knew the maths, and then it just went. No, basically, I was just trying to explain a concept. When you close 50%, so the original risk was 120, because we said the original lot size was a 1 lot. Right, it was a 12 pip stop loss. Okay, you closed 50% right over here in minus 7 pips. Now, minus 7 pips would be
minus 6, wouldn't it, if it was 12?
Yeah, but the break of the low was minus 7.
Oh, was it 7?
Yeah. Minus
right.
7 pips, right?
That's
so,
good.
Okay, yeah, 6.5, but we'll go 7. We'll round it up just for simplicity purposes. So it's minus 7 pips, right?
Yeah.
So you've closed 50% at minus 7, which would be, what would that be?
It's like it's 58% of what you originally put down.
See, this is why I rely on Kelsey. He's the mathematician around
70 quid. So you're down 70.
Yeah. So yes, yeah. Okay, I got that bit right. Okay, so
Yep.
you've taken £70 off the trade. Now let's say that you left the rest of the position, which is a 0.5 lot, right, with the still 12 pip stop loss to hit stop loss. How much would you get out of that trade with?
Oh, okay. Yeah, like normally, like it's 3/4. So you got it right when you said it would be about 90. It'll be between 80 and 90 normally.
Yeah. I'm so, because I'm just like, it'd be 60, wouldn't it? No.
No, so you would lose 70 to start with, and then you'll lose half of the rest of it. So you lose, I think you lose 95.
Yeah. See, man, this is what I mean. I should have done better at school. See, I was never meant to.
Sure.
How is that? Why is my brain not work? Like, oh, I don't know.
Like, I've had it before where I've closed around half where it's broken a low, and then when it takes full stop loss, I'm normally at about 75-80% of normal position.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. Like, you come out, instead of losing 120, you lose. Let's just go with, fuck it. Let's just say the answer's 80, right? You're coming out now with an £80 loss. So you basically saved yourself, what did you save yourself? £40, and that can really make the difference. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just one of the, I mean, to be honest, my maths is fairly decent. That's just one of those times where my brain just was like, oh shit, what the?
It's a brain.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
get.
it's a brain fart.
Yeah, it's like a brain freeze or whatever you call it. But yeah, we just had 95 people in the building here. I really want to get to 100 views. 100 views would be super nice. Let's get it on the story while we got 15 minutes left here. Let's see if we can break it. Come on, everyone. Let's stay on the YouTube. Let's try and get to 100 views.
Maybe if you put something up on your Instagram, like...
On it now, mate. On it now. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, let's see if we can get to 100. That'd be awesome. I've been waiting for a long time to break 100 viewers. But yeah, anyway, so I mean, yeah. So you lot get the point anyway. So you saved a bit of money, and yeah, I mean, most of the time since this candle was coming down, once it broke its own low, I probably would have exited the full position, because your buy was up over here and price is now back nearly at the other side of the range. So it'd have been a good idea to close everything. But either way, you lot get the point and the gist. So yeah. So it seems like GJ's coming back in the range here, so I suppose there's just a bit more waiting involved, but we're going to be coming off the streams here soon anyway. But it's just been nice to be able to get to 100 viewers here today. That'd have been real nice. I'm sure we'll get there next week. If we don't today, I'm sure we'll get there next week. I can open a few more YouTubes if you wish. I have tons of IPs from my business. I mean, that's kind of cheating, in it, but I mean, that's up to you, innit? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I want people to actually come on, but yeah, no, it'd just be nice to actually break that barrier, and then we lose 5 people. Okay, probably not gonna break it here today anyway, because we've only got like 10 minutes left on the stream. So yeah, next week we'll get there. I know there'll be some people, because I mean, in the last week or so, I've gained a lot of subscribers actually each day. So I think because we've been back this week, it's been good. Yeah, see, like, I've already hit 1,100. So this week I've had 80 plus subscriber change, so it's pretty good in a week. Yeah, pleased with that. Pleased with that. Yeah, next week we'll get there. I am back analyzing from this morning, but I see pretty tight ranges everywhere. How come I see obstacles everywhere? I don't know. Maybe. I think you said your name was Danny. Danny, if you send me a chart, mate, I can take a look, because then we're gonna maybe see. Maybe you don't need to have, a certain point or whatever, because a lot of the times, you know, a lot of the times, a lot of your ranges and things like that, like let's say you're looking for sells. I know some people are going to put their range here, which is perfectly fine. But in theory, once we break this support, right, technically price should continue down to this area, because this was our most recent price action from today's trading session. So we can see clean candles all the way down to this zone. Sorry man, I use MT4. Okay. I mean, it's up to you, but if you want to take a screenshot, if you follow me on Instagram, it's on the screen there, double underscore HFX. Sorry, double underscore H underscore FX double underscore. If you follow me and you want to send me a DM, I'll be more than happy to take a look. But yeah, that's if you want to. You don't have to. So yeah, I think we're going to start to wrap up soon here in a minute. So let's look at gold. So it seems as though gold, let's clear everything here. So it seems like gold has created a support. It's made a low. So technically, from a 30-minute perspective, you would want a retracement, some resistance formed, and then the continuation. Looking on the 15-minute time frame, even say, let's say on a 15-minute time frame, if the 15-minute candles start closing back in the range, then there's a chance that, you know, could come down and then start to head back down again. Let's take a look at the FTSE 100. So looking at the FTSE, let's start off here from a 30-minute perspective. So we know that FTSE came down to the support. It's made a low now. The current 30-minute candle retraced. Sorry, the previous 30-minute candle retraced. The current 30-minute candle is still open. It's got 5 minutes left. We've seen this kind of structure happen many times. So if this 30-minute closes as it is, like a weak bullish candle, and the next one wicks up and then breaks the low right here, we could get a further volume push back down to the support and then start heading off lower to this next area over here. Excuse my childish drawing. But yeah, we see that structure happen a lot. So when we go to the 15-minute time frame, what could be a good catalyst for that? I mean, once this 15-minute candle closes bearish, you know, it's creating a minor resistance. And then if the next one can break the low of the previous of this, you know, current open 15-minute candle, there's a high chance it's going to come down and retest this low. You know, we see that happen a lot of times. Let's go to GBP CAD. Oh yeah, looks like GCAD did continue moving bullish. We didn't even check that out. Oh, it nearly came up to that area. Let's take a look what happened on the 30-minute. So yeah, the next 30-minute did come up, break above. We then got quite a deep liquidity grab and then the continuation, but didn't really push higher than that. It's now retracing. So let's take a look what went on the 15-minute. Looks like I tried to create some support, but just couldn't really go higher at that point. But either way, you know, the whole GP CAD buys from 8.15, 8.30 were the play and did really make sense. Looking at Euro JPY, yeah, it seems as though it's tapped into a support. It did actually come down to our target though, and now it's trying to retrace. If you look on the 30-minute, yeah, it's starting to retrace now. So maybe it's gonna mirror this candle coming back up to this area, but yeah, not really sure. Either way, based on a 30-minute perspective, it's only just made a low, so you would want to see, you know, maybe like a 30-minute resistance, and then there's a very high chance it's going to continue moving down, and maybe break this low, but at least retest this low. And then finally, Euro NZD. Oh, seems like the 8.30 candle there broke support and then continue moving down. So Euro NZD sells. Yeah, nice. Ran for around 17, 16 pips. Let's take a look on the 15-minute, what kind of went on. From a 15-minute perspective, it was very messy. So what time was... So this was 8.30. Okay, so this would have been the close of the 30-minute. So then we did have two weak bullish candle closes, and then we had a resistance form. So maybe it'd have been better to wait for this resistance, because then you had... you know, enough range to sell and decent stop loss placement. But either way, from a 30-minute, it still made sense for price to continue moving down. But there we go. Let's take a look at GJ. Let's just wait for this candle to close, and then we're going to call it a day. So we've wrapped up all the pairs here. I think GJ is just it's just ranging right now. So yeah, you would need a break and close above 141.200. Otherwise, there's no buys. You know, it's consolidating right now. There's no volume. So for buys, you would need a candle to close above 141.200 to continue moving on. Okay, so if it goes down, but indeed has a nice 18-pip range, but 30-minute confirmation almost always kill like half, especially if you want to get it after the highest lowest wick. Not really sure what you mean there. Yeah, not really sure what you mean. Sorry. But yes. Okay, so we got 48 seconds left for the 30-minute candle to close. Oh, look at GA. Yeah, GA is just a mess now. Okay, we're gonna remove this. Remove this. Remove this. Remove this. Remove this. Yeah, so GJ is just ranging right now. This is garbage. Okay, 18 pip range. You want 30 min to close, and it closed 5 pips within the range. If it closes within the range, then there's no confirmation. You know, like let's say, for example, this is a range, right? This is a 12 pip range. There's no confirmation of any of these candles. The only confirmation you would want to see is either a candle like this. It closes above, so it evidently clearly closes above this area, or in the opposite way, you would want a candle to close below this support, you know, this area here. It's that way inclined, because then you know that there's enough volume to continue to move up, or there's volume that we're going to correct this move coming down, is the rule of thumb. No, I understand you're not talking about that range, but I'm just using this as an example. I wasn't sure what range you were talking about, but anyway. But it also had a wick of like 10 pips, so you can only get in after 10 pips, leaving it 8 pips. Okay. I understand all that. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I wasn't sure what you meant. That was all. So I know it's a little bit difficult to communicate, you know, via a chat, but that's kind of the best we can do here. But yeah. So any final questions before we call it a day here today? So I think we've had a good day. It's the end of the week. Obviously, I know we were supposed to have a guest on today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So you know, he'll be on next week, which is fine. Okay, it's messy. Okay, no worries, mate. But yeah. So anyway, guys, if there's no final questions, let's conclude here. I just want to say I hope everyone's had a good trading week. First week back, it feels great. You know, everyone in the group, I hope everyone in my group had a good week. Hope everyone in the YouTube also had a good week. So I think this weekend, if you didn't have a good week, obviously you need to see where things went wrong. You know, don't be disheartened that the first week of 2021 didn't go to plan. It's perfectly fine. You've got 51 weeks left of the year to make something, so you know, don't stress, don't worry about it. So yeah, at the end of the day, just keep working hard and keep reviewing. Trust me, reviewing is gonna be your biggest biggest point of learning, you know. So like, for example, tomorrow or even tonight, I know that for my group I'll be doing a webinar on the 2 trades that were taken this week and the paper trade that I took on Wednesday. So we're going to be going through all the opportunities that arose this week. So again, we're reviewing the potential opportunities that we could have had. So we're just imprinting it in our brains, envisioning it in our brains, what we want to look for on a daily basis, okay? But either way, it's a Friday, guys. No over trading, no over risking. If you've taken a loss today, call it a week. Do not expect to make your losses back on a Friday, okay? But anyway, I wish everyone a good weekend. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Thank you, everyone, for coming on today. Thanks, everyone, in the Zoom call.
See you guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Awesome. See you guys. See you, Salim. Have a good weekend, mate. Everyone in the
Yeah,
YouTube.
see you later. See you, Wuxie. Take care.
Yep. See you, mate. Everyone in the YouTube, have a great weekend. And we'll see you all Monday, 7:30 a.m. GMT. We're going to break 100 viewers next week as well. I can feel it. So thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Yep. See you, everyone. And Danny or Phil the Cart, if you want to send me an Instagram DM, if you want to show me what you're talking about, I'm more than happy to take a look. And anybody else, if they need any help with anything, you know me. You guys know me by now. I'll help anyone out. If you need any help, don't feel free to message me. I'll reply as soon as I can. I do get bombarded with messages, but I will reply when I can. So yeah, have a good weekend, guys. See you next week.